Okay, so the next question, it deals with some data points. I think it's netball team scores. Okay, and then we are supposed to um, try and figure out some means, and so we're talking about central tendency here. So I want you to try and remember what we did previously with regards to central tendency, remembering the advantages of your mean, your median, your mode. When is it best to use your mean? When is it best to use your median? When is it best to use your mode? Things like that. What are the advantages of your median, mean, mode? Those are the most important things apart from the calculations of how to calculate those different measures of central tendency. Those are the most important things that you have to remember, okay? How to calculate them, as well as when to use what. In what circumstances do you use your mean, your mode, your median? Okay, so keeping that in mind, we're given the netball team scores for a season. Okay, the number of goals that they scored in their matches. The team goes through to the playoffs, and the coach tries to determine what the team's chances are of winning. She decides to calculate their average match score by finding the mean. What impression does the value of the mean give in terms of their chances of winning the playoffs? Okay, so remember how to calculate your mean. Okay, so your mean x bar is equal to the sum of all your data values divided by n. N being the total number of observations. So here we have 10 observations, and then we have to sum all of our data values. So 11 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15 and so on. Okay, when you sum all those data values, you get 202 divided by 10. The answer is 20.2. We can round it off because you can't score a 0.2 goal. So we can round this off to 20 goals. Okay? So if they score 20 goals, okay, this means that the mean is very high, correct? That's quite a high mean of goals for a team to be scoring. So since the mean is very high, this would give the impression that they have a very good chance at winning, okay? Winning the playoffs, okay? Which is good. The next question says, which measure of central tendency would be better indicator of the team's chances of winning the playoffs? Okay, so we could go with this measure of central tendency, but if you look at the results, there could be something misleading, because here we have an outlier of 58. Okay, 58 is very high, a very extremely high number of goals to score in one match. Okay, and if you look at the other numbers, or the number of goals, it's much lower than 58. So this, when we've put it into our mean calculation, will then inflate your mean value. Okay, so this value is therefore inflated by that outlier of 58. Okay, so you have to be very careful. When you have your outliers, the mean is not the best measure of central tendency. You would rather then use your median value, okay, rather than your mean. Okay, and that will give you a better indicator of the team's chances of winning the playoffs. It then says, which data value would you choose to tell your opponents in order to make them fearful of your team's netball ability? So naturally, you would want to tell your opponents your highest score, because you want to make them scared. So when you come, they're like, oh, that's the team that scored 58 goals. So you would tell them this data value to scare them. Okay? You wouldn't tell them that, no, we scored 11, because that's not going to scare anyone. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of that section. We have reached the end of Unit 6. So please go ahead and test your understanding. On page 198, there's questions 1, 2, and 3 there. Okay, go ahead and work on 1, 2, and 3. And then I will go over these questions with you one once you have completed 1, 2, and 3. And that will end our Unit 6.
Okay. Thank you.